question to that. So if we're stopping out after 5 days, what happened to the other variants that need 10 days or 14 days to complete its running a course through your body? How do we know that if we do get COVID, it's not a different variant, that we're out in 5 days?
Jeff, that is an excellent question. So most of the other variants have become obsolete, like the alpha, the beta. The one that's still out there that your question applies to is the Delta variant, which we really know is much more aggressive, more virulent, and really does probably need that full 10 days. But the CDC is now issuing kind of a blanket statement, regardless of what type of COVID you get, because when you get a positive test, Jeff, you don't know if you have alpha, delta, omicron, or what variant you have, unless you get further genotyping. So I do think that, again, this is a population level decision made for everybody, but at an individual level, it is always the safe thing to do to go ahead and get a test. And then after 5 days, if you're not having any symptoms, the other thought here is that you probably don't have that much virus inside of you.
It sounds like a decision made after a late night canoodling with the government and corporate America. That's just me. All right.
Whoa, Jeff.
You know what happens after 2? All right. Not good.
But okay, let me get back a little bit there, Jeff, because earlier in the pandemic, the doctors were getting a lot of trouble for saying, well, you don't care about the economy. You guys just want to have your way. You just want everybody to stay home. And we were getting in trouble for saying that. So now this is our compromise to say, okay, let's get vaccinated people out there a little bit earlier, knowing that they're not going to get super sick. So what do you think about that?
I think, what if you have the Delta variant and you should be isolated for 10 days? What do you think about that?
So again, I agree with you. But the point is, if I said to you, Jeff, everybody has to stay home for 10 days, you don't think I would hear from people that, oh, doctors just want everyone to stay home. They don't care about the economy. They're shutting down the entire country. I mean, we heard that last year.
And I love that you're being honest with all this, but I feel like some people on television are not. Now our masks seem like, now we need to double up, or they might not work. I could go down this rabbit hole with you. Some of the vaccinations, triple vax, you still catch the Omicron variant, right? And then I have questions about my 5-year-old son. Should I vaccinate him if it's going to wear off in 100 days? I have a lot of questions, and it just seems like nobody but you, Doc, is being honest on TV. So I appreciate the pushback.
All right, Jeff, well, you and I will get together for a virtual drink, and we will get all your questions answered.
I say we do it on television.
I just want to bottom line this. If you have symptoms, if you have COVID, if
Stay the fuck home.
You go out and wear that mask, please get a test and make sure you're negative. I just got to say that.
And that's going to bring me to my next question, Doc. Testing, because that's what I've been talking about.
There are no tests.
It's such a mess right now at testing sites all around the country, and it's super hard to find an at-home test that you want to do at your home in stores. So, Dr. Coley, let's start with people who travel for holidays like me. When should we get tested, and what test should we take?
So, Jeff, if you traveled, just like I have, you want to get tested before you get on the plane, usually a day before, get a PCR test that comes back to make an infection. Then when days, instead of the 3 to 5 we were saying for Delta, now that we're seeing a lot more Omicron, get a PCR test. If you want to be conservative, you can get another one about 5 or 6 days later, but usually one test is adequate after you've traveled.
All right. Now, Doc, we know that New Year's Eve is right around the corner. A bunch of folks are going to be out partying, probably drinking a little bit. Masks, might come off, people are when they drink. So just knowing that before we even get to
Can't get tested for what?
It all together. I think we
Hi,
should.
Tony.
So I'm in New York City right now.
Hold on a second. You said, I'm saying, okay, taste and smell are the biggest signs to me, but the problem is with the Omicron variant, people are getting cold symptoms, and the only way to tell if it's Omicron or a cold is to get a test, and there aren't enough tests available. The part about the taste and smell, they're not talking about that so much with Omicron. They're saying regular runny nose, you think you have a cold, and when I looked it up and said, well, how can you tell the difference? You can't unless you get a test. Can't get tested for that, but those are the clues. Taste and smell, only you as an individual know that. Yes, but with Omicron, I think there's people that have Omicron that aren't having that taste and smell symptom. They're just having cold symptoms. And like for me, I had a symptom of a cold yesterday, but I haven't gone anywhere. And so if you have like nasal congestion and the color is not clear, which is allergies, if it's yellow or green, that's a cold symptom. But if I had been around other people, I'd have to go get a test now. But because I haven't, I just wrote down the symptom and went on with my day because I know it's not COVID. But let me see. I had that last week. Weather change would do that. The weather, yeah, it's really cold. It's been snowing. They say cold air and cold weather don't make you sick. Germs do, but I did not go to acupuncture today, partly because the cold weather is a migraine trigger for me. And I asked them to give the appointment to someone else because so many people need those appointments and it's hard to get one, which is why I didn't want to give it up because I wanted them to treat my shoulder, but I canceled it. I made it as far as my living room and then I canceled it. You had that last week with the weather change. Okay. All right. Let me unpause this and see if Dr. Coley has anything else to say.
That's right. Yeah. But that I do believe should be canceled.
For that hard-hitting comment. That's why people watch TV.
How dare you? I think she looks lovely, and I just wanted to.
Wait, what did he say about how she looks?
So we're gonna be out partying, probably drinking a little bit. Mask, might come off. People are when they drink. So just knowing that before we even get to the holiday, should we just cancel it altogether? I think we should.
You do have time for this?
So I'm in New York City right now, and they're planning
party
Times
dress
Square.
on.
Or you don't?
Yeah. But that I do
What?
believe.
Wait, what? Oh, party dress on because it's red?
Just knowing that before we even get to the holiday, should we just cancel it altogether? I think we should.
So I'm in New York City right now, and they're planning
party
Times
dress
Square.
on.
That's right. Yeah. But that I do believe should be canceled.
For that hard-hitting comment. That's why people watch TV.
How dare you? I think she looks lovely, and I just wanted to.
Wait, okay, I'm going to try one more time. What did he say? Did you hear what he said?
Be out partying, probably drinking a little bit. Mask, might come off. People are when they drink. So just knowing that before we even get to the holiday, should we just cancel it altogether? I think we should.
So I'm in New York City right now, and they're planning
party
Times
dress
Square.
on.
Yeah, Times Square got
That's right.
reduced to
But that I do
1/5.
believe should be canceled.
For that hard-hitting comment. That's why people watch TV.
How dare you? I think she looks lovely, and I
She
just wanted to.
does, but she's talking about a mass gathering event, and I'm trying to give information to our people, and you're okay.
And she said she has a party dress on.
So thank you, Sam.
That's the thing with it. Like, all right, we're going to just let it run.
About a mass gathering event, and I'm trying to give information to our people, and you're okay. Hey, Doc. So what do you say?
So thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. But Al, you make a really good point. So New Year's Eve in New York City, mass gathering, absolute no-no. But if we're talking about small gatherings in somebody's house where everybody's vaccinated and boosted, and you're low risk, so everybody there is healthy without underlying problems, and you've used testing, I do believe that you can have those type of small gatherings safely despite what's happening right now.
Dr. Coley, good to see you. You do look super cute. With this new super contagious Omicron variant, a lot of experts are saying you should just ditch those cloth masks that so many
That's
of us
right.
have been wearing for like 2 years. What are your thoughts on that? And what are the best masks to wear?
N95, KN95.
Yeah, and I want to piggyback off of what Jeff said. This is not that we're taking back what we said earlier about the cloth mask. They do offer some protection. It's just that we now have access to better masks, which we didn't in March of 2020 when there was the PPE. And we know that KN95s and N95s are superior in terms of protecting you, especially now that we have this incredibly contagious Omicron variant out there. So I pretty much got rid of my cloth mask. I'm only doing the KN95s or the N95s. If you can't get that or you're in a pinch, then you can,
they're
use
not
the
sure yet.
surgical masks, the medical grade masks, but don't be using those cloth masks by themselves because they have too big pores in them and they're really not providing you adequate protection.
Good to know. Good to know. Better to be extra safe. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Coley. We really appreciate you, and thank you for having the patience of dealing with all of your children. We really do.
We love you, Doc.
We do miss you. Okay, be safe. We'll see you soon. We'll be right back.
They're not sure yet because the data coming out of South Africa, it's summer in South Africa, and a lot of people there already had COVID. So I'm watching the data coming out of other countries to see if they come up with anything in the next 2 weeks. But right now, that may be the case, that people are getting less. Like, the hospitalization rates right now have not gone up.
That's really cool.
You were hearing that here last week? Yeah, they're saying that, but they're also saying that they have to look. There's data I saw coming out of 3 countries, and they're saying in about 2 weeks they're going to have a better answer of whether in the U.S. it's going to be worse than it was in South Africa. Up 35% as of today's news. What's up 35%? The numbers?
Defend your gutters from clogs forever with LeafGuard.
Hospital cases are up 35%. Okay, because I didn't watch any of the CNN news last night because it was CNN Newsroom. I guess like Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper must all be off this week. So I watched the local news, and I tried to look up the COVID numbers. Can you hear me okay with this mask on? I have a mask on because of dry air, not because of COVID. Tell me if you, and I'm yelling over the TV. Apple and Yahoo News. I looked on the, I'm going to pause this a second because I looked on the COVID website for the numbers for Oregon, but I ended up not going back there because I couldn't find the numbers I was looking for. The hospital cases are up 35%. I did write down the numbers in the national number was like 200 and something thousand today cases, but yeah. I'm loud and clear? Okay.
We save a lot.
292 a day. They're saying it could go up to 1 million, but then they said something about the one part that I missed when I called to cancel acupuncture, but I can watch the replay on Hulu from GMA3, that now they're looking at breakthrough cases as more of, they're normalizing it, like that it's going to happen to almost everyone. I canceled my Christmas plans. I turned down the invites because the people that were going were not vaccinated. Don't believe you can get COVID again. I didn't know that part till later, but that's incorrect. Not vaccinated and not tested, and so I said no, I can't go. Because of Christmas parties. New Year's parties are going to make it worse. I have, if I don't go to the store by December 31st at 9 p.m., I lose my over-the-counter funds. And there's only one place I can order online, and I placed like an $85 order, but the rest, I have a P100 respirator, and it's actually unfiltered, which means if I put it on, I should put a surgical mask over the exhale port, but I may use that because of how contagious they're saying that is. If I want to walk into Rite Aid and buy what I need before the funds expire and not get the Omicron. Yeah, I don't need to be out there, but I have like $500 it's going to expire. Usually it's only like $200, but they gave extra, and I also had a return of something, because the fruit and vegetables were delivered like 3 and 4 days late by FedEx and had started, some of them went bad. And no, I don't need to be out there, but if I don't go out there and I don't get a booster shot and I don't go out there and I didn't go to my doctor's yesterday, so I didn't get a booster shot. I changed it to a virtual appointment. It's also cold. It was like 20 degrees like yesterday morning. I'm on public transit. I don't need to be out there, but I said that when I called my insurance company today and said, is there anything else that I'm missing that I could get by the end of the year that's covered by my insurance? And I said, they need to make it so you can use it at Walmart. If they give me a PIN, then I could use it as a gift card at Walmart. But as it is, I have to walk in there in person if I want to use those funds. So if I do go out there, I might put my face shield back on with my P100 respirator, and people might think I look like a space cadet, and I don't care. And my migraine glasses, because you can get COVID through your eyes. All right. It's 3:04 p.m. Let's listen to the rest of this before. To hell with them? Yeah, to hell with them. I'm going to stay safe.
American Auto is
is the next office. She knows nothing about the auto industry.
I don't know how to drive. It's like riding a bike. I don't know how to ride a bike.
The reason I'm watching this on an hour delay is because I called about my CPAP, ASV sleep apnea machine. Oh, thank you.
2 new comedies, January
I appreciate
4th
that.
on NBC.
And I called my insurance company.
Welcome back to DBL. So we have an update on that viral video we talked about yesterday.
What
A woman
viral
on the
video?
plane who got into a fight with an elderly man about masks on Christmas Eve. So if you missed it, we're going to let you see it again, okay?
Let's see. I missed it. And he called her a Karen.
Wow. So we are now learning that the woman is reportedly an actress who was in Baywatch. She's also been a cheerleader for the NFL, was also in Playboy. So she was arrested on federal charges.
Good.
The LA trifecta.
Assault charges. She could end up in prison.
DBL. You can watch it on YouTube or Facebook.
$100,000 fine. So there are also new reports about what started the fight.
Daily
The
Blast
woman had
Live.
gone to the bathroom. She couldn't get back to her seat.
But
because
she didn't
the
have her
shift
mask
had
on.
started. The flight
Because
attendant
what?
told her to just take an empty seat. The woman responded by saying, and I'm not even comfortable saying this, but she said, quote unquote, "What am I, Rosa Parks?" That's when the elderly man reportedly told her it was an inappropriate comment, that she isn't black, that she isn't in Alabama, that this isn't a bus. And that's when things turned nasty. And he said, "Sit down, Karen."
It just there. Where do you start with this? First of all, that's not. Rosa Parks wasn't standing. She was like, this. Everything is wrong about this situation.
You can hear it?
An insult.
Yeah, I know. But
Okay.
She didn't even use
You
it
too,
in the right
thanks.
way. Which, if we're gonna add one more thing on top of this cake, I'm so like the transgressive nature of spitting in somebody's face. You played college football. We watch football. They fight all the time. Spitting is the only thing that they mention after the game. Like, hey,
right?
the linebackers. Yeah, that is. I feel like that's the line with human beings. And spitting in somebody's face
So
with a
disrespectful.
pandemic
Right.
is no different than shooting a bullet at an 80-year-old man. You're gonna spit right in his mouth, and you might have COVID. Clearly, you're a person that does not wear that mask. I don't
Which is
even.
what you're fighting for. You're fighting to put your mask up. You're not wearing a mask because you're spreading COVID, which you spit on somebody. I mean, you can't even write this stuff at this point. It's so ironic. It's so absurd. People live in this world that's not real, and they think they could say and talk and do anything. And then when they leave their house, they think that's the world. Oh, I could spit and talk and tell you to go kill yourself and do whatever. And then this is it. We need more repercussions for people doing this. No flights. Put them in jail. And I understand if I don't even want to go there, but go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I just go back to what I said from the beginning is, did our social contract that we've had for quite a long time in America, is it just tearing apart? Is the decency we all committed to and moral responsibility to sit down and behave on a plane, is that gone? Because at some point I'm seeing in America unravel and not have any type of, I do this for you because you're my neighbor. Now it's I punch you because you're my neighbor.
You know what it is, Tori?
I spit on
And I'm
you.
so glad you said that. There's a social contract that now that we're in the day and age of like people like to play with language. So like, oh, I guess I can't do this now, and I'm sorry, and you're America. It's like, no, we have a social contract where it's not illegal for me to stand behind you in line and hum. Just some weird thing, but it's like we don't do that because we're all in line and no one wants that. It's not illegal. You're just being just like you can
disrespectful.
It's just like there's things that are not laws, but things that we just do
Common law,
because
right.
we're around a bunch of people, and it does seem like that's gone. And I don't know how we get that back or where we get that, but here we are.
Means that bad.
You don't think just humming in line is
Not
that?
as bad as some other things.
So what if I just started freestyle rapping while we're in line at CVS?
I would probably be like right on.
I would give you a beach. I would give you a beach.
Okay. I love y'all.
We'll be right back.
That's not a big.
I have at least 20 apps downloaded.
All right.
All of them have
I'm going to go
Christmas
check on my
notifications.
farm. Bye.
Give out so much
Hello to the
personal
replay
information
viewers.
online.